joined by a man who was outrunning me on Saturday morning when we went for a run around Kenilworth. He knows everything about sport, and he's here to give us the sports wrapper of what happened this weekend. Good morning, David Brook.
Good morning.
I have to brag because I'm telling everyone how fast you ran on Saturday when we went out for did about an 8K run.
I'm fitter than I look.
You are so fit.
Which, you know, you would think I'd be in Rustenburg with the rest of the 21 injured box, you know, I've been conditioning, you know.
But we're not talking about our sporting experience this weekend. The Springboks, a bit disappointing. Another
disappointing performance, but not so bad in the first half. The first half, you know, a lot of the guys were saying that these guys are going to be rusty. Guys like Pierce Spiss coming back, Fourie Dupree. Those guys were actually really good throughout the entire game. Fourie Dupree was a big one for me because he will be our starting scrum half, and he is key to our success at the World Cup. And to get him just on the field playing, even though his hair's a bit receding, you know, these guys are not getting any younger. It was great to see them back on the field. First half was good. We were up at half-time. Second half, it was always going to be the last 20 minutes where we were going to win or lose it. And unfortunately, Div was forced into a couple of changes. He moves John Smith again to prop, which I know my colleague Tank has written a blog about it, slating the move, which I agree with. You know, John Smith, even Peter de Villiers said at the beginning of the season, I was at that press conference, he said, John Smith is a hooker. He doesn't play prop, and that's where I'm going to play him. Yeah. So, you know, he's now going back on his words, and now John Smith is injured.
And what's happening there? I mean, hearing rumours about him not making World Cup?
There was initial reports that he was going to be out of the World Cup. Those were played down by management because normally what happens is on a Monday, they reassess all the injuries from the weekend after the bruising encounter from the weekend, and they go, okay, these guys are a doubt for this weekend's test, or these guys are now out of the World Cup. They're saying John Smith is not out of the World Cup, but by the end of today, he could be ruled out, you know. Sure. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to leave that decision to the last minute, which is not great, because if he is going to be ruled out, rather rule him out now and get your guys properly played.
And then Currie Cup this weekend, you and I were at the gym in Claremont on Saturday. The Sharks were there hogging the swimming pool. Yeah. They had an incredible night. Chaps, they had an incredible night on Friday night.
Yeah, it was a wet night in Cape Town. So, you know, Freddie Michalak is a Frenchman who plays for the Sharks. He kicked all their points. They beat Province 21-19. Province almost pulled it out of the bag, but, you know, the conditions were so rough that it became a kicking game. And Michalak was the best kicker on the night, and he won for the Sharks. The Lions are still top of the log. It's unbelievable. 5 from 5 now. John Mitchell's a very happy man. They had a good win against the Cheetahs. They now come down to Cape Town this week to play Province on Friday. There's 3 games on Friday night because of the Tri-Nations game, which starts at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Your Billikies, off the bottom of the log. They're building up there.
Yeah, they'll get it. You know what they're like in the beginning of the season.
Exactly.
They
come semi-final time, they're dangerous.
They come to deliver.
Exactly.
And then soccer and football fans were in for a treat, except my Spurs didn't play this weekend.
Yeah, your Spurs game was postponed due to the London riots, but some funny results. You know, locally, Orlando Pirates got their season. They did the defending champions. They got their season off to a flyer with victory. Benny McCarthy actually scored on his debut, which is great. It sent the crowd into absolute frenzy. And Kaiser Chiefs also got a good victory. Ajax Cape Town surprisingly lost away from home. So they won't be happy with that. But the fixtures come thick and fast now this week. In England, Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal all drew. Yeah. So Man United had a game yesterday to really already put the pressure on the others. And they beat West Brom. New signing Ashley Young came on got the winning goal, and Wayne Rooney with his new tuft of hair after hair implants, he was on the score sheet as well. So, you know, Orlando Pirates, Man United, both defending champions, looking pretty good.
Now, you haven't slept all night because you were glued to your screen watching the golf.
I need toothpicks keeping my eyes open today. Yeah, the golf was exciting. 2 unknown Americans, you know, and the Americans finally got their major winner this year since 2010. So, it was a guy named Keegan Bradley and Jason Duffner, 2 totally unknown Americans in a playoff. Jason Duffner was 5 shots ahead after like 15 holes, and then he duffed the next 2 holes and he dropped back into a playoff with this guy. And Keegan Bradley, his first major that he's ever entered, he wins.
Unbelievable. What's the prize money that he walked off with?
A couple of million, I reckon. So really not a bad little payday for a youngster, huh?
And what else can we look forward to this week?
Well, I think the big talking point is going to be the build-up to the test with the All Blacks in PE. The All Blacks arrived in PE this weekend.
A killer welcome.
Huge. I saw
over 2,000 people were there.
I mean, that was, I don't think that even they expected it. You know, they've got a lot of local following in South Africa, especially in Cape Town and Port Elizabeth. And just, I mean, we saw tweets from the New Zealand guys. Corey Jane was tweeting yesterday. with the pictures of these guys just going crazy for them, which is great for them. You know, they come to a country where they think they're playing away from home when it actually feels like a home game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a bit worried about this weekend. We could get a proper pasting.
No, I don't think so.
Last game, this is our last game before the first World Cup game. So some questions need to be answered.
Well, David, thanks so much for joining us so early, even though you had a lack of sleep, being glued to your TV. Now, stay glued with us because we're cooking in the kitchen next with a man that's cooked for David and Victoria Beckham. He's also worked with some of the top chefs in the UK, and he's showing you how to make yourself a healthy meal when it comes to training and sport.